Good evening and welcome to World in Focus. Tonight we take you across continents, from a devastating road tragedy in Uganda to new military tensions in East Asia and a major legal breakthrough involving fugitive businessman Mehul Choksi. And later in our deep dive, we examine why US President Donald Trump has abruptly cancelled his much-anticipated meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest, a decision that could influence the course of the war in Ukraine. Authorities in Uganda have revised the death toll from a multi-vehicle collision to 46 people, down from an earlier figure of 63. Police say the discrepancy occurred because several unconscious victims were mistakenly counted among the deceased. The crash took place along the Kampala-Gulu highway, a major transport route linking the capital to northern Uganda. The accident involved multiple buses, trucks and private vehicles, creating scenes of devastation that emergency responders described as the worst in years. In East Asia, North Korea has fired a ballistic missile towards the east, marking its first such test in 5 months. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff confirmed the launch early Wednesday, though details such as range and altitude have not been disclosed. The missile was fired just days before President Donald Trump and other world leaders are set to gather in Seoul for a regional security conference. Officials in Seoul and Tokyo have condemned the test, calling it a provocation that undermines regional stability. Washington has said it is closely monitoring the situation in coordination with its allies. Analysts suggest Pyongyang may be attempting to assert itself ahead of renewed diplomatic discussions in the region. Meanwhile, in Europe, a Belgian appeals court has ordered the extradition of fugitive Indian businessman Mehul Choksi in a significant breakthrough for Indian authorities pursuing the Punjab National Bank fraud case. The court found that Choksi faces no credible threat of political persecution or unfair trial in India, clearing the final legal hurdle to his extradition. Choksi, along with his nephew Nirav Modi, is accused of orchestrating a massive banking fraud estimated at Rs 13,000 crore, involving fraudulent letters of undertaking issued by Punjab National Bank. Now to our World in Focus deep dive, a sudden diplomatic reversal that has left global observers puzzled. Just a week ago, US President Donald Trump spoke optimistically about meeting Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest to discuss peace in Ukraine. But now those plans have been shelved. What prompted the change and what does it mean for the ongoing war? The White House has confirmed that Trump has cancelled plans for a second summit with Putin, despite early announcements that preparations were underway. The reversal came only days after a reportedly productive phone call between the two leaders, during which both sides expressed optimism about potential peace talks. But on Tuesday, the tone shifted sharply. Speaking to reporters, President Trump said he did not want a wasted meeting, indicating that developments on the battlefield had prompted the decision. Meanwhile, US sources suggest the move followed a tense conversation between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. During that exchange, Lavrov reiterated that Moscow's position remains unchanged, that any peace agreement must precede a ceasefire, not follow it. Russia continues to demand full control over the Donbas region, insists that Ukraine abandon its bid to join NATO, and calls for new elections in Kyiv. Ukraine, meanwhile, rejects these terms, saying they amount to legitimizing occupation. Ukrainian President Zelensky has accused Moscow of not being serious about peace, linking Russia's renewed aggression to Washington's delay in providing long-range Tomahawk missiles. On the ground, the fighting continues. Ukrainian forces say they struck a Russian chemical plant using British-made Storm Shadow missiles, while Russia responded with fresh airstrikes on Kyiv. As both sides dig in, President Trump's decision to cancel the Budapest summit underscores the fragile state of diplomacy. For now, peace remains elusive and the world waits to see whether the proposed ceasefire and any real negotiation can still find common ground. So that's all in World in Focus for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more.